Hello everybody, welcome in. Hope you're all well. A bit more of a casual one today because I just realised I haven't got any socks, so I need socks for sim race. I'm going to be just streaming today. This will eventually make it to a video, but this won't be the video. Basically today I'm testing a brand new strategy generator that I've made, primarily for VSE, but I'm just really interested to see if it works. I may release this publicly, not fully decided yet. I think I'm going to release the strategy generator itself publicly. But the data that goes into it, I think I'm going to leave behind the VSE paywall, as it were. But if you're willing to generate the data yourself, you'd be able to use it. I think that's what we're going to do. Anyway, main thing today is to test it, right? So basically what it is I'll show you in a second, but I'm able to generate a strategy based on, all I'm going to give it is what track I want, how many laps I want to do, how many pit stops I want to do. That's all, set. Then my tyre wears on soft, medium, hard, how much wear per lap I do. And then it will then bunch of numbers and spit out what is theoretically the fastest race strategy. Now, what's interesting here is that, first of all, it's relatively similar to the in-game one, but obviously the in-game one you can't customize with your own tyre wear, so often it's wrong. Like, it will say you can't one-stop and one-stop's best strategy. But also, it's come up with some interesting strategies. We're going to try Spa today. One of the strategies suggested is soft-medium for a 50% distance race. I don't think anyone would do a soft-medium at Spa necessarily. But that's what it spat out as just the best strategy, and then very close behind it, I think, is medium hard. So quite different strategies. But again, I'll show you it in a little more detail in just a second. But yeah, that's what we're doing today, guys. It's gonna be a real casual stream. We're just gonna be hanging out because I'm just basically just doing some testing here, and I thought I'd do it live to hang out with you guys. But yeah, anyway, let me see some lows, and I'll be able to get some socks. I'm not bare. I can't sim race with bare feet. It's a bit warm today, so I haven't been wearing socks. But hey, Mayday, hey Tim, hey Mateo, hey Magnetics, hey Radiant Demon, hey Noodle, hey Josu, hey Ryan. Hey, fat guy. I was about to say, hey, fat guy. It's like I'm calling your names. Fat guy in chat. Like, that's why I always say fat guy 2009, so it's clear that it's your name. Running on potato quality because my internet is bad. But excited for a brand new Gillon masterpiece. Oh, well, sorry about the low quality, but hopefully it's watchable anyway. Hey, Kev. Hey, K. Cordius. Welcome in. Hey, Darren. Hey, Bilbo. Hey, Mark. Hey, Rogue Marshall. Hey, Cameron. Welcome in, guys. Hope you're well. Would you consider doing a feature to imply create series rules where you have to use all dry compounds? What, on VSC ranked, you mean? Is that what you mean? Yeah, no, thank you for the Prime sub. Pure 20 months of pure mud. Very good, very good. Right, anyway, guys, BRB, my bedroom's right there. I'll be 2 seconds to go get some socks. Hold on a minute. I'll leave you with that beautiful screen. Just got them. I haven't put them on yet. Hold on. That would have been quite impressive to get socks and put them on in that amount of time. Right. What a generator spits out. Oh wait, what did I say? Well, yeah, we can, but I don't know if it would, like, all it would tell us is that theoretically it's faster to one stop instead of two stop the creator series forcing, or maybe it's faster to medium hard instead of the soft medium hard. Creator series doesn't care about faster race time, so I like wouldn't say much. Anyway, right. So let me show you it. So this is obviously early days. This is a bit raw right now, but I will show you it anyway. Just so you know what I'm talking about. So. Hang on a second. Right. So this is the VSE server. So for now I've made it a Discord bot. I think if I release it publicly it'll be a web page on the VSE website rather than a Discord bot. But for now I've done a Discord bot. And this bot will work with VSE. So if you're a VSE customer, this is what it will be like. I'll obviously might redo the looks a little bit. But anyway, you've got a strategy customizer, right? So what it will do, by default, it will tell you the strategy based on the numbers that we've got, right? So if I press customize here, you can see it spitting that out. So number of laps, I'm doing 50% distance race. Again, with VSE, that'll be preset for you, whether you've chosen 25%, 35%, 50%, or 100% distance. It'll do the number of laps for you. Now, pit stops is, we'll get into this while I'm driving, but pit stops is a drawback. Right now, you just have to tell it the number of pit stops. You can't get it to compare one stop to two stop. I'll get into the details of why in a bit. And then you've got the soft, medium, and hard wear rates. These are pre-populated with the data that we've generated. So if we press submit on that, I think it might, yeah, I'm covering it up. Very, very good. Let me just type this up for a sec. So we can then see it spits out. The optimal strategy is to go medium to hard and pit between laps 8 to 10. The pit window is generated by 0.1% grip difference. You see at the bottom here, it says 89.93% average grip across that whole race. And that's how it works. It's not based on time, it's based on the grip of your tyres, which is why we can't compare across different number of stops. Anyway, so 89.93%, that's the optimal strategy. The alternative strategy is to go soft to hard, pit between laps 7 and 9, 89.91% different. Very, very minimal, 0.02% difference between the optimal and alternative tyre. Very, very little at all. So again, medium hard, I think most people would run that strategy at Spa, pretty default. But soft hard, I don't think many people run soft hard, but the strategy predictor thinks it's almost exactly the same. Now, a couple of drawbacks to this. One is it doesn't factor in tyre temperatures. However, the wear figures that you put into it theoretically should factor in tyre temperatures because you go slower with hot tyres. You wear more with hot tyres. So if the softs overheat, the soft strategy won't work. But the system doesn't know about that. And obviously the pit stop thing I mentioned, which we'll get into a bit. So that's how it currently works, right? So if I was to now do my own customization here and go, actually, my wear rate, which I've got here, just give me a sec, yep. My wear rates, which in the Creator Series race I did, and obviously I wasn't going full push in the Creator Series race, but they were 7.8%, 4.8%, and 3.2%. That was my actual wear rates from the Creator Series race. And if I submit that, it will now spit out a customized version of that strategy. So it's now saying that soft medium is the best strategy with 91.46% average grip. You can see how much better having better tyre wear does to your average grip. It's quite a lot better. 91.46, and the alternative strategy is medium to hard, 91.16%. So a much bigger difference. About a 0.4% difference in average grip, whereas up here, the two strategies were 0.02%. So massively, this thinks that the soft medium is comfortably faster with my lower tyre wear versus the medium hard. And you can see up here it's also suggested medium hard or soft hard, which again, I don't think most people would run. So we're going to do it my own customized numbers here, because that's got my own pit windows. You can see they're not that much different though. Soft hard needs to pit lap 7 to 9, soft medium 7 to 10. It's not that different because the softs die when the softs die. Same with 8 to 12. So the actual pit windows aren't too different. So we're going to pit on lap 9 from the softs and lap 10 from the mediums. So soft hard, pit on lap 9, medium hard, pit on lap 10. That's what we're going to do. And if the soft medium is genuinely overall a better race time than the medium hard, then we know that this strategy predictor is absolutely cooking, because I don't think anyone would consider this. Now, obviously, it's not perfect. Obviously, you know, I've already mentioned a couple of drawbacks, but also battling is a big one if you've got traffic or whatever. Sometimes you want to stay with the pack, you know, whatever. But this is just telling you the perfect strategy, right? So it's good information to have. So anyway, so we're going to do soft medium, and we're going to pit on lap 9. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So as I said, when we got on track, I'll talk you through the system a bit more, but something I've been developing over the last week or so. Obviously, also that data was from online mode, whereas I'm using Grand Prix mode here. There is very slight differences, but they are very slight. Yeah, 26. Oh, I'm doing Spa just purely because I like Spa. that's the only reason I'm doing Spa. And it's a relatively quick track, so 50% distance race goes by quite quickly. So equal car performance in the McLaren, as past Piastri, my goat. I'm going to run the difficulty relatively low, purely because I know it's a bit boring, but it's a test. We don't want the AI getting in the way. I think 105 is probably all right. We don't want to lap them, but I don't want them to get in the way. We'll then do 50% distance race. We've got to do 2 50% distance races today to test it. Leave qualifying off because it should put someone in the front as we're in a McLaren. Clear weather. Don't want any of that to change for this. No safety car, no red flag. We just want to do a pure test. So there you go. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Could this tell you when to push and when to save tyres? Well, no, because it could obviously tell you if you're, you know, if we built it out a bit more, it could tell you that you're behind on tyre wear or something like that, so you need to adjust your pit window. It could obviously adjust it on the fly, theoretically, but that's a bit more an advanced feature that would need in-game telemetry and stuff, but maybe down the line. But it's not ever really better to push harder at the start than less at the end of the stint. Again, with battling maybe, but that's more about racecraft and race IQ than it is about pure strategy. How accurate do you have to be with a tyre wear rate? The more accurate the better? Yes, absolutely. The more accurate the better. So what I would normally do, if I was going to generate my own figures for this, is go into the race distance you're going to do, in this case 50%, do the first 5 laps while not getting lots of wheel spin off the start, and that's important. And by the way, why was that P7 in the McLaren, please? Don't get lots of wheel spin off the start, because obviously that could burn the rear wheels, and if you're only doing 5 laps, that can make a difference. And just drive normally. Don't let the AI get involved. Don't really battling. Turn the AI difficulty level down. Ideally go from pole. 5 laps. Job done. Do that for all 3 compounds. That's 15 laps you got to do. That should give you some data, especially if you use a telemetry system like sim racing telemetry, which gives you much more precise data than the game gives you. The game only gives you 8%, doesn't it? Whereas it'd be 8.23% in reality. So that obviously helps with accuracy. But yeah, the more accurate you can be, the better. But it's not going to make a massive difference if you've got an extra decimal place. Not really. So anyway, so the game probably doesn't think we can do a soft medium. It absolutely does not. Absolutely does not. It thinks we're 5 laps off. So I might have to conserve tyres a little bit here to make this work. If the softs overheat, this really isn't going to work. But the game thinks there's no way we can do a soft medium. Which is very interesting indeed. So let's see how this works. And as I said, if we go back to it, without me entering my own custom numbers, which may be a bit wrong, it was suggesting soft hard and medium hard. So this is a step softer again with very low tyre wear. So I'm probably going to have to be a little bit cautious on tyre wear here in this stint. So I'm going to load the VSE setup. Just give me a second. Spa race should be... I customized it, so just give me a sec. Okay, just give me a sec here, chat. Get this setup entered. Okay. Let's just do quality quickly while I'm here. It was pretty close. Okay. All right. Oh. Oh, God's sake, press the wrong button. Hold on. Let's let me publish that. Let me unpublish that real quick. Oh. Okay. Right. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I think this is a bit ambitious. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. I wouldn't be surprised if this does not work. This strategy, because I feel like I've got a tyre numbers a little bit wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. And I'll take it somewhat easy on the tyres to make this work. So I think in the Create Series race, I was taking it somewhat easy on the tyres. Be back. Oh, AI. Let's be back now. I hope we get past this AI on this next straight, because they don't tend to use much boost lap 1. I think all of them are. Oh, Jesus. Bump draft. Right, just get past the AI. We don't want them to get in the way. Right. Now let's get on with it. Just gonna do a normal race now, chat. See, already 4% of the race out on the start, so that's not gonna help me. I have to push a little bit. As I started only P7, which is what I said before. You've got to really take it easy on the softs off the start. Now, as I said, if the tyres overheat, this isn't going to be a good prediction. I'll take it somewhat easy. I'm not going to cruise, but I'll take it somewhat easy. Yeah, unbelievable fast. Yeah, they are. In quality. Also in the race. If this strategy works, I'll be absolutely amazed. Soft medium on a 50% distance race at Spa. I won't be doing that either. What is it? Lap 9 I've got to get to. I'm already struggling to do, no matter where I've got lap 1. Fuel. Oh yeah, did I overfuel? I overfueled, didn't I? Ah, I've got to restart. Got about fuel. Hold on a sec. That's annoying. Thank you for pointing that out there. It would have been more annoying if it was later on.
Radio check.
What do we want to do? Probably 2 laps under. Let me check. We don't want to run out of fuel at the end. Pretty forgot about fuel. Thank you, chat. Oh, so raw data here. 0.05 per lap, that reckons. 0.05 per lap. 22. It's about a lap under, isn't it? So it's not crazy under a spot, it seems. Okay, I'll go a lap under for both. Right, let's try it again, shall we? Hopefully, get a bit of a better start as time. I'll burn the wheels quite so much. Am I going to Gillon this weekend? Yes, I am. Can confirm. I go to Gillon's most weekends, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to send this. Don't really care about the AI, I just care about tyres and not getting held up by them. Hopefully lap time is working, is it? Yeah, it looks like it is. Obviously Piastri, not Alex, is the difference. Classic Mercedes running out of battery mid-straight at the start of Spa. Right. Yeah, tyre about 1% better after a slightly more gentle start. What was the tyre I said again for these tyres? Is it like 7.8? Grab that up, hold on. Let me just grab that up real quick. 7.8. 7.8% per lap and 4.8 on the mediums. So in other words, if we're off from that, we've done something wrong, basically. I will actually do some driving in a sec, I promise. Got to dive on lap 1? Yeah, you know it. You know it. Alright, yeah, so the strategy system, the strategy prediction system is basically based on the grip data we get from the game. So the game has basically a table of information that tells you the grip that each tyre has based on each percentage to wear. So it will say at 5%, the tyres have this much grip. At 10%, they have this much grip. That's basically what the game works on. Thank you, Carl. The tier 1, 35 unsubscribed. Just one off for the whole 3 years. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Yes, that's pretty much how it works. In the game, it's tyre versus grip. So I basically extrapolate that to say if you've got 3.9% of wear per lap, then you should have this much grip on lap 10, right? So we now know the grip levels of your car. It then uses that information and basically it actually does iterate over every possible strategy, which I've not even worked out how many that is over 22 laps with 3 tyre compounds, but it literally tries every single strategy possible and then goes, here's what the average grip would be across all of those strategies, and just tells you whichever one is the one with the most average grip, the highest average grip. That's literally just how it works. So yeah. But the reason it's got some drawbacks is because it's sort of simplistic, I suppose. It's literally tyre wear. So your tyre wear per lap is all it wants. It doesn't care about lap times. It doesn't care about pit loss time, all this stuff that actually matters for a proper strategy. It doesn't care about any of that because it gets very complex very quickly. So if I start to say, and which is why we can't compare a 2-stop to a 1-stop with the strategy system, because if I start to say, okay, compare the 2-stop to the 1-stop, because we haven't got lap times and we haven't got grip, which I'll explain, pit loss time, which I'll explain in a second. I'm actually lifting a bit too much here. The 2-stop will always show as having more grip than the 1-stop, obviously, because on average your tyres have more grip during a 2-stop than a 1-stop. But the key thing that makes that work or not is whether you can make up the extra pit loss time, right? That's the absolute key thing. But how do you make up the pit loss time? Well, first of all, we need to know the pit loss time, which is fine. We've got that with VSC data. We can absolutely put that into the system. But then on top of that, you also need to know what are your lap times. You don't just want to know grip. You want to know what are your actual lap times. Because you need to know whether you, with that increased grip, you can make up the time. Well, how do you get your lap times? And therein lies the problem. Because in order to generate, well, I say generate, you can't generate lap times from grip values alone. You just can't. Because it varies too much. At some tracks, like Monza say, your tyre grip isn't that important because you're mostly just in the straights, right? At tracks like Singapore, your tyre grip is absolutely critical. It's a long lap, there's lots of corners. Your tyre grip is going to make a much bigger difference to your lap time than it is at someone like Monza. So it's impossible to generate that information. So you'd need to supply that information to the system. Which basically means you need to do a... generate a lap time for every possible grip. In an ideal world, obviously, you can extrapolate a little bit. But you need to generate a resulting lap time from every single possible grip value. So I could say, on softs... Actually, it doesn't matter about tyres, I suppose, does it? I could say, when I've got 90% grip coming from my tyres... what lap time would I get? Which we can do, and we can extrapolate up that information. But then you're involving your human more. So you've got to say, whoever it is generating that information, how consistent were they? And you could very easily start to get data where you say, well, at 91%, my lap time was this. But at 90%, my lap time was faster. And it wouldn't obviously in reality be faster, but it would appear faster because the person doing those laps was slightly less consistent. They just didn't quite nail the lap, and they were a tenth of a second slow on that one lap. Do you see where it starts to get complex now and very, very difficult to generate not just any strategy, but accurate strategy information because you've got a human involved doing laps, generating the numbers. But that's how the F1 game system works because they've got AI. AI drivers can do perfect lap times. They can do perfectly consistent lap times. They can do tens of thousands of laps per minute or whatever, you know, however it's generated. They can work all night. So that the in-game system works on the AI's data. So they basically, what I just talked about generating there, they get AI to go and generate it. They get the AI to go and do tens of thousands of laps on every track, and then they've got the information they need. So it's very, very difficult to build a strategy system that compares a one-stop to a two-stop. As in, when I say that, I mean a strategy system that's automated, that's based on numbers only. You can start driving and test and go, yeah, it seems like the medium hard is the better strategy. But to generate it, which is the one I want to keep it to make it accurate, is very, very difficult. So that's one of the big drawbacks of this strategy system. And I know for a fact that when this gets released, that'll be the number one request will be, yeah, but do we have to select the pit stop? Can it not just go, you know, can it not tell me if one stop or two stop is faster? Obviously, but it's almost impossible to do. It's almost impossible to do. Anyway, tyres. Is that hot for Spa? Not too sure, actually. 90 odd degrees. Doesn't seem cool. For sure, but I don't think they're not massively overheating.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
And we're going to have the same thing here. I'm having to drive this to test it because I want to get some real world data, right? But I'm just testing. We could find that this strategy is 5 seconds faster than the other strategy, which will be wrong data, right? I'm hoping it'll be close at least. But if we find that this strategy is significantly slower than the other strategy, i.e. like 5 seconds or something, we can then start to go, okay, yeah, maybe there's something wrong with the strategy system. We need to test it a bit more. Let me just look up the tyre temps. Once on this sector, actually, I'll look up tyre temps. So the other thing we can do, you know, if we don't want to put a driver in the loop of the data, we could go, all right, let's multiply the number of corners by the grip, which in theory gives you an idea of how much difference. So that would give you a difference between Monza and Suzuka, because Singapore, because and Suzuka, but Singapore, because Singapore's got Singapore's got so many corners. Monza's not got many corners. So obviously, at Singapore, just on that information I know without knowing the tracks, you know that the the tyres are going to be more important at Singapore than they are at Monza. So that's our way to do it. But now you're getting into estimating things. You're sort of guessing. And I don't really want to do any guessing if we can help it. But a bit too much battery here, but we also haven't lifted enough this lap. So anyway, we got about 97 degrees. Just give me a sec here, chat. Let me check with the VSE data whether that's hot or not. 97 degrees. It's on the upper side, but it's all right. Optimal was 85, but up to about 95, you're okay. So these tyres aren't really overheating. That's good for our test. Sorry, I will look at chat a bit more in a minute. I'm just going to try to explain things for now. We'll get to lap 9, don't we? Which we absolutely are going to do. It's relatively close, but we are going to do it. Not all corners the same. Exactly. And now you're starting to dig into the issues. Is that theoretically you're predicting now? It's not accurate because not all corners are the same. There could be a track that's got lots and lots of slow speed corners that don't wear the tyres very much and maybe don't make a big difference in lap time versus high speed corners that do. Every race length, yeah, because it doesn't matter. All the system I built, its only inputs are number of laps, your tyre wear information, so your wear per lap on soft, medium, and hard, and the amount of pit stops you want to do. That's it. That's all it takes. So you can put in 5 laps if you wanted to. You can put in 100 laps. It doesn't care. It's not. It doesn't make a difference whether it's a 50% distance race or a 52% distance race. So yeah. By the way, these tyres actually still feel pretty good. They feel better than I expect them to, but I'm not pushing that hard. But that's kind of by design. I'm sort of pushing to a sort of standard race level. I probably should have done a few practice laps to be honest, but. Setup was great as well. This is the VSE V2 setup. Something I was going to say, I can't remember what. Oh, not warning, amazing. Definitely guessing. Yeah, I call it more of a prediction, but yeah, I think a guess. It's not a complete guess, but it's a guesstimate for sure. If we multiply the number of corners by the
in this lap, push now.
Copy.
Alright, we're going to lap 9, chat. I think probably what would be potentially quite handy is if it's to tell you what percentage you expect it to be on lap 9. Which it absolutely knows, but it just doesn't spit that out at the moment. But we said, what did we say, 3.6% per lap, was it? No, it was more than that. 7. Hold on a minute. I've completely forgotten. 7.8. It was 7.8. 7 or 8% per lap. So is that about what we're on, chat? Someone can work that out for me. That'd be handy. When you drop on the V2s, whenever they're ready. Don't know yet. I'm hoping this will be part of it. Providing the tests today are positive. Overcuts versus undercuts? No. Because again, it doesn't do lap times. All it cares about, literally, it's the whole system. I've mentioned the inputs before. The whole system is just based on grip. How much grip are the tyres giving? That's it. So obviously it can tell you that a new set of tyres will give you this much grip right now. But to be honest, the live timing system does quite a good job of that using game data. If you look at the live timing right now and click into the tyres, it will tell you how much faster a brand new set of softs is right now, brand new set of mediums, brand new set of hards. It gives you a lap time, which is game generated data, which means it's not 100% accurate, but I'm going to recharge them a little bit early. I'm definitely sort of cruising a little bit here. 7.5% per lap. Okay, so I'm actually pretty much bang on, to be honest. Perfect.
14 laps of fuel left. 14
yeah, I'm not really pushing hard. How's my consistency, chat? Lap to lap. You know, again, if you use live timing and click into the laps, click on lap time, it'll tell you my lap history. Definitely having to drive a little bit more gingerly now than I was at the start of the stint, because these rears are starting to go off a little bit on me.
Lando's dropped out of the race.
Now, the other thing it doesn't factor in, chat, is the drivability. So, obviously, if it's a track where your rears wear much faster than your fronts, it's not going to factor that in. It's not going to go well, you know. Although, theoretically, you've got a good grip right now, it's not very drivable because the rears are just leery. So that's something it probably could do with factoring in, which we probably could to some extent by just saying which tyre is it that's the most worn, which again, these data we've already got with VSC, which we can plug into it. Because generally speaking, I think people probably struggle with rear tyre wear more than front tyre wear.
Okay, pit in this lap, and remember
I did turn safety car off, yeah. Yeah, for the test.
Keep that in mind as you approach.
It's impressive you managed to make this. Yeah, it's the sort of thing I like doing. I'm a massive nerd. I love all this sort of stuff. I'm going to lap 9, chat, so one more lap. Yeah, how's the consistency, chat? The lap time consistency? It should be fairly consistently, just slowly getting slower. Hopefully. Yeah, they always have so much fuel, don't they? It's crazy. Sorry, in laps, and these softs have been fine, actually. We're quite high aware, obviously, but we're not going to hit the puncture limit. Softs have genuinely been fine. Better than I expected. Going the same? What a nerd. Beta nerd. Definitely a bit more gingerly now. Alright, make sure we've got medium selected. We have. Looks about right as well. What if AI, yeah. We got it set low on purpose for the test. We don't want to be battling. Much as it's boring, it does affect the data, unfortunately.
We're seeing dangerously high levels of wear now. Please look after them or consider boxing for a fresh set.
Good idea. Box this lap. Don't need the tyres anymore. Hoping might have some traffic here, mightn't we?
Okay, go, go, go.
Yeah, starting to box. So worst case, it's one lap of traffic.
Faster than we were expecting.
Yeah, we got one car of traffic. It's not too bad. We might be ahead of him. Maybe side by side with him more likely. There he is.
Heat into those tyres.
I said we put boost mode on, but I just managed it with my right foot.
Okay, we've got 12 laps of fuel remaining.
Oh, taking him down this straight. Nah, not quite. Not quite. Wait. Try and send on him immediately. It's going to affect the test otherwise. This is AI is not quite low enough then. Is that now I'm a bit slow because of him. Probably only cost me a couple of tenths though, so it's not going to make a big difference to the test. Okay, these tyres are a lot better now. no Lyco there. I've not got the budget in my harvest limit to Lyco there. I'm going to recharge much at the end of the straight, so I'll use a bit less down this straight than I normally would. Oh, stop. Accidentally double tapped it. Shouldn't be an issue next time, because when they're boxing, next time when we're running medium hard, isn't it, next time? Theoretically, next time that shouldn't be an issue, because we're boxing 1 lap later, boxing on lap 10 next time, not lap 9. 11%, oh damn. Well, to recharge on that final corner was brutal.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
I need a race engineer in chat. Come on, chat. How was my consistency in the soft stint? Don't tell me. How was the lap time consistency? Should be a fastest lap. Lap. As much batch as I'd like, though. Middle. Margrim versus Games algorithm. Yeah, it is. I mean, the reason I've not built a strategy system for VSE up until now is because the in-game strategy system is actually pretty good. Because again, it's based on those thousands and thousands of laps that the AI do. It's pretty good. So I've sort of been like, well, if we can't do better than that, then what's the point?
We're critical on fuel, probably a lap or so short. We don't need to risk it.
But obviously we know the in-game one's got some drawbacks, like the ability to customize it for your own wear.
Early into the corners.
Alrighty then. Should be purple first, I'd have thought. Way too much. Not purple, but green. PB. So we know we're going to get to the end of this race now. So this strategy is working.
10 laps of fuel to go, 10 laps of fuel left.
But we'll see. We'll see if it's faster than the medium hard. That's the key thing. Okay, the softs are pretty consistent. Okay, thank you. That's good. Because I'm physically driving it. As soon as you get a human involved, data gets messy. Yeah, the other thing I'm developing obviously at the moment very actively is the live timing. I've actually just shared it with Ryan and 83 just as a little test. So I do want to share it more widely with particular creators because I think it's a very, very good tool for creators in particular, as you guys know. Well, not for the creators, for the viewers. It's awesome that we can get you guys so involved with all the data and give you a dashboard that generates all this stuff. So I'm still working on that, but kind of pausing that for now. While I finish the strategy system. Lifetime on console. So you can... Telemetry does exist on console, right? I'm pretty sure... I've never tried this. I've always been vague about this. You can send telemetry data from console to like a PC, right? I think you can. So yeah, if that's the case, then in theory, yes you can. Hey, the Royal Game, welcome in. Oh, too much of a lift. Hope you well. Yeah, I've never tried it. I've never tried sending telemetry from console to a PC. Obviously, it is complex. It's not a simple thing to be doing all that, and that means you've got to run a laptop at the same time running it. It's probably not really worth it unless you're a streamer. Really annoying process. Yeah, exactly. It's just not really worth it, I think. Also on PC, it's so much easier because you can run the telemetry thing on PC. Wasn't great. I'm pushing a bit less now. I need to push a bit harder than I am, dude.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Well, it's fine. I have a tablet set up that receives, and then I made a dashboard kind of similar to your tablet. Oh, nice, Zach. Very nice. Yeah, it's definitely enthusiast level, isn't it, to do telemetry in general, to be honest, but especially on console. I wonder why I was so warm. I haven't got my cooling chair on. What am I doing? Sat on a cooling chair and I didn't have it on. Oh. It can cause lag spikes. Oh, really? Telemetry is a bit mad, to be honest. Obviously, I've delved very deep into it for live timing. It is a bit mental. Like, the amount of data that gets sent out while the game is crazy. Like, some stuff gets sent once a second.
8 laps of fuel remaining.
Which is already a lot, considering, you know, per lap. What? I mean, what have we got here? We got, what, about 100 seconds. So it's getting sent 100 times per lap. Some of that stuff isn't really necessary to get sent 100 times per lap as well. Like, I think the slowest rate, and I could be wrong about this, it says in the spec they released alongside it, but I think the slowest data send rate in the telemetry is once every 2 seconds, off the top of my head. Which still means it's getting sent 50 times a lap. And bear in mind that some of these things we're talking about is like lap history, tyre history, like stuff that doesn't change multiple times a lap. It changes once per lap. And they're sending it out 50 times a lap. This is crazy. Like the amount of data. And then some stuff gets sent at, 60 times a second. You got to be quite responsible with it, because if I started sending data to the live timing dashboard at 60 times a second, I currently put it this way: I basically build a data packet that gets sent to it, which is somewhat inefficient because the whole packet gets sent every time, including stuff that hasn't changed, like people's names. But I basically send that whole packet once a second, 1 hertz. So I could easily 60 times that, and right now, with compression, and I've only recently compressed it to make it a smaller file size, with compression, it's about 1 megabit a second at the end of a 100% distance race. 1 megabit a second. So if I started sending that 60 times a second, I could start sending 60 megabits of data, which is like double or triple a 4K stream. This is crazy. And obviously, the game isn't sending quite that much data because the game's only sending one thing at a time, and I'm collecting all of the stuff the game's sending and sending it as one big package. But still, you get the memo of how much data that potentially is. So me sending once per second is actually relatively slow. But yeah, I've enjoyed nerding out all this stuff. We'll lock up that.
Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us
That's a
the
pretty good
best
consistency by
lap
the looks of it.
Yep.
Game's suggesting boxing. Piastri's keen for it. I am not. So my education is I never went to uni to start, but I did a level 3 BTEC, which is basically A-level level of computing in general, and I did find the coding side quite interested in that. But that's my only real kind of professionally educated computing stuff. I've always just been interested in it. Initially, I looked at going into IT support and stuff, but didn't enjoy that. So yeah, I'm completely self-taught really. Same with like all web development I've done, all completely self-taught. I feel like my first thing I did similar to this was modding Red Alert 2 back in the day. I used to mod in, like create... I think I created a unit that looked like a civilian, but deployed into a grand cannon, which if you play Red Alert, you know is a big beastly cannon that does a lot of damage. And I created that with a little mod I made back in... When would have this been? I don't know. Would have been probably the mid-noughties.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Now, I think that was my first foray into this kind of thing. So I've clearly always been interested in it. No, never went to uni or never had any proper education on computing stuff, really.
Okay, there's enough fuel to do 6 more
Start my
laps.
first year. Oh, nice. What, level 3? Similar level. UDP custom actions are bound to buttons. Yeah, I haven't actually looked into that much yet because I've not needed to with this. But obviously, I guess if you're
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start
particularly if you're on
losing some
console,
time any time now.
it'd be really helpful, isn't it? I do data science as a job, so you're speaking my language? Ah, nice, Kyle. Very nice. I feel like... So my wife does, like, data engineering. I think that's the right term. Who's that sub? Thank you, Casket, for the tier 1. 18-month subscribe. Appreciate you. Year and a half. Beautiful. Thank you for the support. Yeah, my wife does, like... She's called a data analyst, but she's actually a data engineer. She does data engineering. I would be interested in that for sure. I don't know if I'd be interested in data science as much. Like, using the data to figure stuff out. I don't know. Not as a job. You know, a little bit of that, of course, with, like, with telemetry, right? Figuring out, what the hell does that telemetry mean? But, like, that's obviously very, very basic. Yeah, I don't know. What was the thought behind Hasbro on a crashed website? Just funny. When I was working in a theatre box office at the time. Just one of those projects you do to learn. I just thought it'd be funny. It was inspired by the there was another website called HasTheRoyalBabyBeenBornYet.com or something like that. And it was similar, a yes/no type thing. I just sort of thought it'd be funny to do a Maldonado version. And did. Took way too long to develop because it was quite very early in my web development career. I didn't really know what I was doing. It took a long time, but it worked. Had 80,000 people on that website. I think that was at one time. When, I think it's when Ted Kravitz gave it a shout out. Maldonado had just crashed. It might have even been during practice. And Ted Kravitz gave the site a shout out on the Sky Sports F1 feed. And so many people came to the site. Luckily, I'd sort of foreseen that because obviously I didn't have any money for hosting. It was very cheaply hosted. So I made it so that it was a 5 kilobyte file, a single 5 kilobyte file. Yeah, so I think that's right. 80,000 people just after he crashed were trying to access the site, and I was like, "Holy hell!" I guess that's my first sort of foray into kind of content creation. You know, seeing the big numbers. That was interesting. Yeah, the joke kind of died. It's the full 4-year undergrad course. Oh, nice. Okay. So it's level 4 then, is it? Is that right? I don't really know. I guess you might not be in the UK. If you're not in the UK, then it won't be the same. It sounds like you're in the UK. Change screens? Ah, yeah, that's a nice use of that. I think it's really difficult for me because obviously this is my job, and like I'm happy to, you know, a lot of things I do are passion projects. But now we've got VSE, it's a lot easier to justify these sort of passion projects and be like, but there's quite a lot of people paying good money to have access to stuff, so it's nice to give them a bit more, and you know, it's easy to justify my time spent on stuff. But like I'd love to do more of a telemetry thing that, you know, I don't want to go down the route like some businesses have done of like AI, that's slow, AI like driving tips. I don't want to go down that route. I feel like, although that I do like the idea of that, I think that's a great business idea. I personally, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise, put it that way, but I prefer to give people the tools to do what they need to do. What's it saying? Yeah, but like just use game telemetry more and be like, yeah, just you know, in this case for the strategy prediction, let it spit out your actual tyre wear, and then maybe have it work during the race and tell you you're on target. You need to save more tyres. You need to use more tyres. You know, that would be quite cool. But then you're talking about a automotive race engineer, aren't you? Obviously, anything for me that crosses over between content and VSE is a dream, like live timing, you know. And I think it's also quite nice for me to be able to use as I'm a full-time content creator and full-time VSE owner, I suppose. It's nice for me to be able to use my time for these sort of things, because this is effectively my job, and it's not my job to make live timing. Whereas obviously people doing it for a passion, they, you know, sometimes make something awesome and then just get bored of it, stop playing the F1 game, and then that you know, that thing's gone. Or stuff never gets made because it's not a business. It's a passion at first. Sometimes things build into businesses, just like Multiview actually. Multiview is a good example of that. The F1 TV, that add-on, would have started as a passion project, and now it's a full business. But most passion projects don't do that, so it's quite nice for that I can use my time to, as a full-time F1 game nerd, I can use my time to create tools to this sort of thing. But I'm only just getting into it, obviously. That's like a little bit. Wide. Like it was the fun part? Yeah, fair. That's, I mean, if it's a passion project and you're just enjoying it, then fair play. I'm actually working on a live race engineer. There's similar sort of things what I'm talking about then, really. Like, engineer says you need to save this much fuel per lap, etc. The problem is there's just a lot of them. That's my problem with all that sort of stuff. If it's something that already exists, how do you improve what's already out there? You can probably improve it by 5%, but it's not unique. Whereas the live timing, I'm sure there is some sort of live timing type things around, but it's quite, I've not seen any. It's quite unique. These tyres actually feel worse than the softs ever did, so maybe the strategy predictor's absolutely cooking. Work out to make a 120 AI mod? Nah, not really. Like, I'm sure we could hack it to force AI to go a bit quicker, but like, you know, there's a reason that big companies like Forza Horizon don't get AI-driven cars very right. It's hard. F1 Game does a very good job of it, actually. We're quite lucky. I know they're not perfect, and we all know the drawbacks of them, but considering how complex it is, they do a pretty good job. I'm actually going to flash that back purely because I can work out the race time without the 3-second penalty, but it's just easier if we don't have to do that. Oh, that's horrendous. That's what I get. Flashback always ruins the flow. Look at SimHub. I actually haven't. I'm very aware of it, but I haven't used it myself. I don't really need to be honest. I haven't got a wheel, nor do I want a wheel that displays all that information because you guys can't see it. I know some streamers have a camera on their wheel, and I like that, but it's just another thing plus we got the screen. Oh my god, I'm driving like an absolute turd this lap. I'm actually going to flash that back as well, because I literally lost probably like 2-3 tenths there. Still not great. Well, the MFD, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That would be cool. If you could mod in a third, like an extra screen to the MFD, that'd be sick, actually. I don't think the F1 game, because it's licensed, will ever support that, but that would be a really cool way for them to open up modding the F1 game.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
Right, one more lap then, chat. Worn softs felt better than these do right now. Very interesting. Looks like it's about bang on. Yeah? Alright, so this lap will give us a scores on the doors, this race. For total race time for soft medium. But look, it has worked. I would never have even thought to try this, especially as the in-game system says that I was 5 laps away from being able to make the soft medium strategy work. 5 laps. It was like, no way, you have to stop again if you start on softs. And now look at me. Crazy. So it's definitely come up with a new strategy. Whether it works or not is the question we get to answer, but it has been very interesting. Because look, they're worn, but they're okay. But we'll see if the ability to run a step softer is worth having the increased tyre wear or not. We will see. Bro's using flashback as my goat wash. Absolutely, yeah. Wish they'd done a more normal strategy, to be honest. Some consistent lap times, so don't mind. Well, there we go.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Yep.
My data science model says you'll win this race. How did you know that? Crazy. Everything's begging to be modded for like there's so many cool things. Yeah, I never even thought about that. That would be such a cool mod. Right, anyway. So, the main thing we want from this is the race time. That's our main metric today. Race time, 40 minutes and 16 seconds.
And we'll see you for the next one.
0.906. Now, the game thinks, not the game, my strategy predictor thinks that is the best strategy. So theoretically, it's saying that on the alternative strategy, which is... not that. Luckily, there's no data there, really, that we're leaking. This. Is that medium hard is the alternative. So we just did the soft medium. We picked when it suggested, and we had 91.46% average grip. It thinks the medium hard will have 91.16, so worse grip on average at Spa. I think almost everybody in league races would run medium hard at Spa. It's very interesting that soft medium worked at all. But let's see. And remember though, without my customization, it would say medium hard or soft hard. It was never suggesting that soft medium because I was so low on tyre wear. It was like, yeah, you can run a soft medium. That's my customized strategy. So anyway, let's move on. Medium hard, boxing on lap 10, and it should be, according to the strategy predictor, a bit slower. I've got some doubts. Right, we're just going to I'm just going to get this up, even though this information is available with the live timing. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go and download that information from the live timing. I've got a full log of every lap time. Give me a second. I've got a hidden download button from live timing that I can download a data file and upload it again. Shh. Right, done. That's it. I can't restart from here, can you? That's really annoying. Very annoying. I will save the replay, not that it's going to do anything. Well. Hard, medium, fast, medium, hard. They're exactly the same. With this particular strategy system, because it just looks average grip, it thinks medium, hard, medium is exactly the same. providing you do the same number of laps on each set of tyres, obviously. As in, 10 laps of mediums at the start versus 10 laps of mediums at the end. Yeah. Obviously, we know in reality, you generally want to undercut because of track position, so we know that you should, which is what it does. The system does, even though according to the system they're absolutely identical, it will always give the softer strategy first. So do soft hard instead of hard soft. Right. Exactly the same everything. 50% distance race, clear weather, everything else will stay the same. Cool. Do it. Let's restart from that manual console. I think it does in qualifying and practice, but not a race, is my understanding of it. No into wet strategy? Yeah, weird that. Weird. Photo finish victory? Yeah, agreed.
Eau Rouge.
Undercut's weak, yeah, it may well be. And these sort of things we could potentially add to it in the future, but it's kind of a first foray, really.
A quick radio check, please.
So,
Radio
medium
check.
hard, that's exactly what the game is suggesting then.
Check.
I'm going to once again load the same setup, just give me a second. Obviously that's a key metric, we need to keep exactly the same, which we have done. So, medium hard, 1 lap under. And we'll go again. Just to confirm. Yeah, so we just did soft, medium, box on lap 9. We're going to do medium, hard, box on lap 10. 1 lap later. So we will see. So actually, let me have a quick look just before we unnecessarily happen. The live timing. Oh, nice. Oh, the 3-second penalty stay because I flashed back. So it's the lap history. So we did 48, 49, 48.9, 50, 49, 0. That's a massive difference to the laps. What did I do there? How did I... Crazy. Ah, the ERS. That burns me ERS. Anyway, wow, really consistent actually. But yeah, sort of high 49s, low 50s, what we're doing on softs. That'll give us our first indication as to whether this is going to be a better strategy or not in theory. Do it. I know Tessa, I like this forward content, thanks for streaming it. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't want to do it offline. I was like, well, if I'm going to do it anyway, I may as well do it on the stream, mightn't I? Hey, thank you, Charles, I'm going through. I want to get Max at the end of the straight, really, but he's quite far away after that. Fireball Max to do. Nice low tyre wet. Ah, good. AI just thinks it's about all their battery, which is probably sensible to be honest. But I know that I can recharge it better than AI can. Well, he starts to feel amazing compared to what I was just on a minute ago. That's not a surprise. Yeah, I wasn't going to stream it, but I was like, well, I may as well. Like, it will be a very casual piece of content. Because the other part of it is the fact that the strategy particular is not ready for public consumption yet. I was like, do I wait until I can actually send you guys the link and be like, go test it? Which is what the video will wait for. I'm hoping the video will be out by the end of the week. The video will wait for that, which is why I said this isn't a whole video. This is just a little test we're doing here on stream. But yeah, I just like I said, I thought, well, I may as well go live. May as well. One thing I would like to try modding with AI while I think about it. You know when they're battling you and they suddenly unlock the ability to brake way later? I wonder if we could mod them into permanently think they're battling, so permanently braking really late. I don't think it's very easy. Hard, medium 1 in PSGL, that's interesting.
With With the new power units this year, you'll want to lift and coast more than you might have done before. And sometimes the fastest way around a track is not always going full throttle. Combine lift and coast into braking with boosting out of corners and see how you get on.
AI engineer. I've seen I know a lot of like Marcel Kiefer is promoting a thing called Track Titan. That's all I really know about it, but the idea of that is it tells you where you're slow, where you're fast, and where to improve. Which does seem like a very smart tool with a strong business behind it, like a strong business plan, business idea. I know about it. New tracks LMU. I will play LMU at some point. It's not a priority for me. I'm an F1 game player. In particular open wheel, but particularly F1 game. It's the F1 game that I've always played the most. I'm not just like a general sim racer, I just play anything. I do like sim racing, obviously, but it's F1 game for me. Always has been. It's what got me properly into, well, Gran Turismo is actually very originally what got me into racing games, but then from there it's F1 game and that was it. Well, that's not true. Gran Turismo got me into wheel racing, and the F1 game got me into racing games, I'd say. Back in the F1 Championship Edition is what I played the most of, which is F1 2006, the PS3 version. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I will play LMU. Oh, is that Grantastic Granny? Incredible username if it is. Hold on a minute. It was Grantastic Granny. 10 gifted subs. Well, thank you very much. That was very, very kind. Especially on a random little test stream like this where we're all just hanging out. Absolutely mega. Thank you so much. Make sure you're doing thank yous in chat if you're a recipient of one of those. But yeah, just go back to the like LMU and stuff. Like, yes, I will play it. I will play it a bit more, but it's not. It's just not. It's not my main thing. Like, to be honest, I'm not even a massive gamer anymore. Outside of the F1 game, I don't play much. I don't even play mobile games at the moment. I always play a mobile game. I'm normally playing something on mobile. I find I'm get a bit addicted sometimes to games like that. It's detrimental to my well, not my life balance. You know what I mean. First, when YouTube works again. What? As in, you've just seen it in the shorts feed? Yes, I am sending both formats to YouTube. In theory, if you find me in the shorts feed, I should come up.
We're in danger of running out of fuel before the end of this race. Start being a little conservative.
But as far as I'm aware, there's no way to... If you're on the landscape format on YouTube, there's no way to then go to the short form format. Hockenheim? Yeah, I'd love to see Hockenheim back. Hockenheim's my favourite circuit, actually. Certainly was on iRacing. I love Hockenheim. What is this track Titan? Updated to add the shadow of your previous lap. That's an interesting take on like a ghost car. No problem, you deserve it for all the stuff you're making for us. Cheers. Oh, well, thank you very much, Fantastic Rally. I do appreciate you. Very, very generous. I'm sure the viewers will be thankful for skipping Twitch ads. I need to start streaming on TikTok, really, but it's not a bit of me, that. It's not a bit of me. YouTube, yes. Twitch, yes. Not so much TikTok. F1 games got me into racing games, but I've started playing LMU recently. Yeah, I think it depends. Like, for me, it's all about, particularly F1, but Formula cars. So, like, LMU, I do think LMU's a good game. And there's nothing to do with the game, the fact that I'm not that bothered about playing it. It's just me. I'm not a big sports car person. Normal shorts feed, not the live stream one? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, no issues.
Makes
with
sense.
tyre
I'm
wear
sure there's
for
some
now.
other people in chat that have
Keep
come
taking
via
care
that.
of it.
Obviously, it's a bit of a chill stream today. I don't imagine this is sort of too well in the short feed, but you never know. Worth doing it because it doesn't cost me anything. I've got the vertical format set up now. I always stream in the verticals both on Twitch and YouTube. Bro said games with work-life balance if games wasn't his job, but that's why I said it like that, because obviously if I'm just playing some random MMO game that I'm not making any content from, that's not work. That's a hobby, which is fine. But because of my job, I can play that for 10 hours instead of working, which is what's dangerous. So that's why I remember work-life balance. I've got to make sure I'm actually doing some work that actually makes me some money and pays the bills. I mean, paywall is an enemy. Yeah, it is a bit of an aggressively monetized game, but I'm hoping that kind of changes a bit in the future. I think they've built something great there. Eventually, multiple games took the time, but eventually they got there. And I think when it comes to console, and do you know what? When it comes to console, I will potentially do more on it. Because realistically, a lot of people watch F1 game content because they play the F1 game, and most people play the F1 game on console. So LMU just has a naturally small audience. He's promoted the vertical. Yeah, if well, I guess because you're a regular viewer, it's more likely to promote it to you. But if you've seen this stream on vertical format, then clearly some people are enjoying it, because if it was always swiped away by everybody, it would never show it to anybody, because it's like, oh, this is a terrible stream. Get it gone. LMU's difficult on controller. Yeah, I haven't tried on controller. I would get on lap 6. BSC is no host in Split 2. Just someone's got to be the host. Someone's got to figure it out. So with Need for Speed Underground 2. I mean, I had those sort of games as well. I think I had Need for Speed Underground 1 actually. I think my truly first racing game was, I'm showing my age a little bit here, but I think I'm in good company. Road Rash? And unless you're at least in your, early, probably more like mid-30s right now, you will never have heard of it, because I only just remember it. But I had a Sega Mega Drive,
Okay, we're down to
and I think it was called Road Rash. Road Rash on the Sega Mega Drive. That was my very, very first, really my first memory of games, I think, to be honest. But it was kind of, it was from what I recall of it, it was like a bike game where it was basically what's the mobile game called now, where you have to, there's 3 lanes and you have to jump between left lane, right lane. It was almost like that. I don't know if it was just lanes, but it was very simplistic. Yeah, YouTube does need to add a button to be able to switch, similar to what Twitch does, although I do also wish Twitch didn't always show you the vertical format just because your phone's vertical, but on Twitch, at least you can find the vertical stream pretty easy. YouTube needs the ability to do that for sure. What my lap time's been, by the way, I've not actually checked.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on
That's similar.
hards
Well, that's
next
very
time.
similar. In theory, at this phase, we should be quicker than we were on the softs, obviously, with the wear we got. Hey, Hayden Mugwin. Hey, Mario Kart. Love a fair share Mario Kart. On the Nintendo DS at school, my mates, we used to do the little local wireless play. My mates on Nintendo DS, that was fun. There you go, Road Rash, there you go, someone else remembers it. It was an awesome game, yeah, there you go, few people remembering it. And can you imagine playing something like that now? I mean, look what I'm doing right now. Not only am I playing by the last 30 years standards, incredibly realistic racing game, but also I'm streaming it. And you guys are responding, and I've got a live timing that you guys can access. Like, live timing didn't even exist for real life F1, I don't think, did it? 30 years ago? Probably not. The internet was barely around. Teletext? Was there ever teletext live timing? highly doubt it. So crazy how fast things have moved, isn't it, over the last 30 years or so. Knock the bikes off? Oh yeah, of course. That's why it's called road crash. Spoke jam? I don't remember that. You want to see vertical first? No, yeah, I agree. You know, almost all of you watching will be preferring landscape, which is absolutely fine. And I don't think vertical is about to overtake landscape, not for the time being. But for discovery, vertical is very, very big. Doctor driving? Never heard of that before in my life. Crazy Taxi, yeah, that was an OG. I enjoyed that one. Go here, just full man yelling at clouds. Actually, I don't know how old Koa is. I won't ask him to say his age if he doesn't want to, but I assumed Koa was... I'm going to say under 35. I'm purposely keeping that very, very broad, because he could be 18, he could be 30, like youngish. But he is a bit old man yelling at cloud about everything, so doesn't like change. But he's also very up to date with change, so I don't reckon he's over 35. But if I had to guess an actual age, I'd say he's like 22, 23. That'd be an actual age. We'll see if Cole wants to read his actual age. Can see more on phone. Yeah, I do agree, especially with the format I'm running here, with the live time at the top. Like some people have said before that like actually it's nice to actually be able to access live time without needing a separate screen, a separate tab. You can just on Twitch you can just turn your phone vertical and have a little look at live time and see what my last lap time was, see what tyre wear's like. So I've got on screen in this particular case, but.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap.
Nope, that's too early. So the game's suggesting one lap earlier than what I'm actually going to box. It's interesting. Koa is hunk. Yeah, Koa is a bit hunk. Just because companies do foolishness doesn't mean I'm old. That's what I mean. I don't think you are old, but default behaviour resistant to change. It's a bit Tory behaviour. That's a bit boom behaviour. That. What do you mean taking away my incredibly valuable house that I just lucked into being, you know, it's skyrocketing in value, and now I'm going to sit on it? What do you mean? You want to change that? No, absolutely not. I want to lock in my luck for life. Ridge Racer? I actually didn't know. I'm not a Ridge Racer person. Burnout Paradise. I put a lot of hours into that game, the original.
Remember, box this lap.
I want YouTube HQ to shut down and make the worst changes. YouTube didn't get where it is by accident, Koa. YouTube, and some will disagree, but YouTube has got the best player in the industry. And it's not like they haven't got any competition with video players in 2026. Vimeo is trying very hard. YouTube is incredible what they do. Like, I'm not saying they're perfect, and I know you're not talking about YouTube in general, but have a little faith. They know what they're doing. Sonic on a Sega Mega Drive, okay, on top of that. Yeah, I think I had Sonic actually on the Sega Mega Drive. That was a good game. Got Gillon political rank for GTA 6. It's not our first political rank, GB. Hey, I won't have cruise slander. I love my cruise that me and Nell did. You know, it's a little 5-day cruise, which I think is partly of it. I think if I was on there for 3 weeks, I'd have been incredibly bored, but the cruise was great fun. Maybe that's because I'm old. Maybe I'm a monk. Maybe that's what it is. Please, someone think about the billionaires. Hey, we got GB being political for GTA 6. That one's more of a turn up for the books. I don't think I've ever even had a political chat with GB in real life, let alone in a public-facing forum with his fancy Twitch checkmark. Right, box in Snapchat.
Okay, remember to pit this lap.
Go was never updating from XP. I mean, to be fair, the thing straight after XP was Vista, and I had Vista, and I don't think it was as bad as it got hate for, but Vista wasn't very good. So if Koa is still on XP because of Vista resistance, I'm not going to hate him for it personally. There was the tyre wet.
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate.
After beers, that explains why I remember it then. That explains a lot. This became Koa slander stream.
Look after
Hey, what I will say is, I'm not going to bore you with all of the same opinions. Not Koa hate stream at all. I think Koa comes up with some very interesting takes. I don't necessarily agree with them, but they're interesting, thought-out, logical takes.
Coming in for his stop now.
Boxed undercut Antonelli, yeah, I reckon I've got that one in the bag. Right, so obviously never ran the hards last time. Now obviously the hards used to be, and it's so interesting actually, when we get comments on YouTube, and GB can attest this if he's still in chat, where basically people using outdated information. Happens all the time. How long were people saying, go to rich fuel mode, or go to lean fuel mode during a race? And it's like, guys, we haven't had fuel modes for 2 or 3 games now, hello, which is fine. Not everyone has the latest game, which is absolutely fine, but they don't even watch modern games, clearly. Anyway, that still happens quite a lot. I can't remember what my point was, but that happens quite a lot still. I literally don't know what my point was, but there's a point in there somewhere. But taping a cassette player for a game? No, cartridges is my earliest. Cartridges, then discs. You saying? The latest one is go soft tyres. There's less than 50 laps of any race. Yeah. I mean, I have seen 1 or 2 on F126. I can't remember what it was though. EOS modes? Yeah, hell no. I don't got a medium ever. A lot of people like to use none a lot. I'm not one of those people, but...
Okay, we're down to our last 10 laps of fuel.
I think I've always had... I feel like my rivals in Creator Series think this of me quite freely. I don't necessarily agree. I feel like I have always been quite good on the old right foot, though. People used to say, like, at F122, my traction was OP, and that was why I was good on that game. But, like, for me, it's the exits is where I'm bad compared to the esports players. It's all corner exit. Corner entry, I'm good. Apex speed is alright. Consistency's good. But exits, I lose so much time to them. That's what. But I feel like on this game, if other people are running none, I'm running medium, and yet my tyre wear is as good as everyone else. That maybe does show that I'm not bad with the right foot, I suppose. I mean, I was having a conversation with Jake recently, Meraki, and
Just
we were talking about, you know, where sometimes I've run boost mode the whole lap. First of all, boost mode the whole lap, which I'm like, yeah, just adapt, just use less throttle. It's not like, I don't see it as an issue. It's just like, nah, I die, I can't do boost mode. How do you do that? I don't understand. So, yeah. Your throttle lock application's already good. X isn't just throttle. Yeah, good point, GB. Good point, actually. Zach Brown box again. Is it the World Champion hotline calling? Yeah, actually, that's a really good point, GB. But you, they're definitely linked, though. You think if I am good on throttle, you'd think that would give me better exits, but it doesn't. I'm not better than anyone else in Create Series at genuine exit speed, but I am better on tyre wear though, so I wonder if because this game is quite forgiving when you go over the limit of the tyre, as in you get a little bit of wheel spin, I wonder if what's actually happening is most people go a little bit over the top, get a little bit of wheel spin, which is fast on this game, but it wears the tyres, whereas I tend to be just below the limit, which is saving my tyres brilliantly, but then my exits maybe aren't quite as good overall. Maybe that's what it is. That might make sense. No point comparing yourself to people hyper-optimised in the game. I don't know. Look, it's not healthy to only compare yourself to the best. Same as, you know, like social media stuff. Like, you know, you don't want to compare your looks to the best-looking people on social media and all that other stuff that comes with that, or money or anything like that. But I think in the context of like sport, I think it's I'm gonna say inspirational. It's not really what I mean, but it's good to see what the best are doing, to see what you're not doing. In the esports case, it's more like copying technique and figuring out what they're doing right and wrong. In the like context of like something like running, it's just inspirational to see what humans can do. So what do you mean they can do 8 15-minute 5Ks in a row across the whole marathon distance? Like, what do you mean? How is that possible? What do you mean Josh Kerr can run a 3-minute 42 mile? What do you mean? I can't run a 3-minute 42 kilometre. By the way, there's about 1.6 kilometres to a mile. Like, that's inspirational. It's like, show what humans can do. Well, if he can do that, and obviously I can't beat him, but maybe I can run a bit quicker. Yeah, medium is better on this game than it has been in previous games for sure. Man, bit of strap this lap.
And that's 8 laps of fuel remaining.
Esport World Cup. I don't know. The esports format could be improved, but I don't think it needs to be changed fundamentally from the F1 style format. That's like fish. That's concerning. I don't like seafood. I hope Nell isn't cooking any seafood. I don't think we've got any seafood. Hey, I made homemade sausage rolls earlier. Delicious. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, it's going to be a train, yeah, it is, because Slipstream's so powerful and dirty, it's not powerful enough. I think for esports, they should change the system. They should just go way more dirty air for you in esports. Enjoy. Wait, why am I not? What am I doing? That's what I mean. Brain farts happening everywhere. I'm actually going to flash that back. Just it must be 2 or 3 tenths this lap. Comparing your category, yourself to the best is good only in categories that are changeable by a person. I think that's pretty good advice in general. But like, take wealth, take money. As much as the rich would have you believe, you can't become a millionaire just because you're determined. You need a lot of luck. Yeah, really money. You need money to make money, really. So, money you can change as a person. I wouldn't necessarily say it's it can be used as inspiration up to a point until it makes you sad. Like, oh, look at my terrible life, look at this person's amazing life. But yeah, something like looks. I mean, you can change your looks to some extent, obviously. You can make a bit more effort. You can get a nice hairstyle and you can go to the gym and things. But obviously, you know, you can have surgery in theory, but I don't think we should be encouraging that. So I definitely agree with in terms of like looks. And like weight. Even though weight is controllable, but like... Yeah, I'd say there's nuance in it, but I'd say in general I agree. If it's not something you can control, don't use it as inspiration.
For now. Everything's looking good.
Hey Jonah, welcome in. Jonah saying, hold on. I start telling you about my homemade sausage rolls and then I'll look at the chat instead. What did? Something really paper rich? Yeah, but that's a very rich person way to look at it. I'm only paper rich because I only own this company. Oh wait, look, turns out I can sell these shares. Oh, now I'm not paper rich anymore.
Okay, there's enough fuel to do.
Does it include a lot of externals? Hey Jonah, it's no, it doesn't include any human data. It includes tyre wear inputs, tyre usage per lap inputs, which a user could generate themselves for them, which is the point. They could personalise it. So that's the only human-generated bit, but obviously that is personal. It doesn't include any other human-generated data. So we use the grip values from the game, and your own personal tire usage to generate what is theoretically the best strategy. But we're going to find out if it actually works or not in about 6 laps' time. We've got a race time. The first strategy that had us try, which apparently is the best strategy, was soft medium. I know. During a 50% distance race, soft medium. And now we'll compare it against medium hard, which was the second best strategy it spat out. So quite different strategies, but theoretically this one should be a little bit slower. I've got my doubts, and there is drawbacks to the strategy generator for sure, but I've got my doubts. We'll see. The strat feels way faster. It should be quicker. You mean in terms of lap time? I've not compared the lap time to the two yet, really. I haven't seen the first stint was similar. You get a nicer haircut? I could do. This one's free though. If we're talking about tax, I think the right way to go is, well, I mean, ideally you want to stop them being able to borrow money based on the shares they've got. I mean, that's basically a free money glitch. I'm sure you guys already know all this, but if you're a billionaire and you own billions of pounds in stock and you go to a bank and say, hi, can I borrow 100 million quid? They'll go, yeah, what can you put up as collateral? You go, oh, well, I own this many billions of shares. And I'm worth 100 billion quid. Well, all right, yeah. If you're worth 100 billion quid, I'll lend you 100 million. That's nothing. But they don't get taxed on that because it's a loan. It's not actual money. Well, it is actual money, but it's loaned money. It's obviously absolute BS. That loophole needs to be shut somehow. But other than that, I actually really like the idea of property tax in the UK. Stamp duties doesn't make any sense. Property tax makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's it. It's a sort of full wealth tax because the rich people aren't about to live in one bed flats. If you've got enough money, you obviously want to live in a nice house. So it sort of taxes the bit that they actually almost can't afford. I know they could move abroad, but quite like that idea. Anyway, you're a karting champion in India. Oh, very nice. Couldn't do anything without or compete in any racing categories because I couldn't afford it. Plus, I could technically work out and get less fat, but I don't really have the time or energy. Yeah, it's similar for me, really. Like, I never tried real life racing. I'd have loved to have tried real life racing. I've got no idea how I'd have done. I don't think I'm the next Lewis Hamilton, but you know, who knows? And maybe I would have done a bit of karting, been terrible, and that'd have been the end of it. Maybe I'd have got to F2. Maybe I'd have got to F1. Incredibly unlikely, obviously, but I just don't know. Never able to try real life racing. Just don't have the money. Yeah, racing's definitely one of those. It's very exclusionary. Is that the right term? Subway Surfers. It actually wasn't Subway. You're right. That is the game. That is the type of game I'm thinking of. But there's another one. What's a Subway Surfers alternative, chat? It was the other one I was thinking of. I think there's two. I don't know which ones. I feel like Subway Surfers is the OG, but I played the other one that was really big for a bit, not for very long. Sort of good being poor, not worried about that stuff. Yeah, maybe, to be fair. Temple Run. There you go. Yona's got it. Temple Run. That was the one. Yeah, I played not even that much of that, to be honest. Played a little bit of that. Yeah, anyway. Go back to the conversation from about 20 minutes ago. What was it called? The Sega Road Rash was a little bit like Temple Run, but it was so old. Ooh. Hey, Domsden, welcome in. Is there any vid for your game wheel settings? No, because I tend to run quite default. To be honest, I'm not a good person to come to for that kind of thing because I am a very adaptive driver, so I get used to whatever's like my camera settings. I'm pretty sure my camera settings are completely default. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. I think I might have copied off Yardwalk Mir. I definitely have. I mean, you want to turn these two off, obviously, but I think this is stolen from Yardwalk Mir. I have done that in the past. I've also run default in the past. That's probably Yardwalk Mir, potentially from a couple of years ago. But and then same thing for wheel settings. I'm not a tinkerer. I'm a driver, not a tinkerer. I'm not an engineer. I don't like all that stuff. GB though. He's a big tinkerer. He loves it. Always tinkering with numbers and settings. The setup generator, sorry, the strash generator looks at 0, 1, or 2 stops. But it will only look at one of those at a time, for reasons I highlighted earlier. So that's a big limitation of it, and it's a very difficult one to get over. So you start to need driver in the loop, which is inaccurate. No, there's not a gap anymore, Yona. It used to be, which is why the hard was so bad last year. So I want to say it's... I don't know what it is now. Got it somewhere, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But no, there's not a gap anymore with the hard tyres, I believe. Yeah, the hards used to be bad, they're not bad anymore. About the Hypersoft. I think they actually made a really good decision in the end by getting rid of all the somewhat confusing tyre compound names. Hypersoft, Supersoft. Although it was quite cool to see them go out and qualify on a Hypersoft or a Supersoft. In reality, they made the right decision in getting rid of all that and making all that stuff internal and just having a soft, medium and hard. Because no one really cares. Like, you're literally talking about less than 1% of people that care exactly what compound they're on. In the game, if you want to, optimize the performance, it matters a little bit more. But like in real life, it doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter whether technically the soft tyre is a step harder than the soft tyre last week. Does not matter at all. All that matters is these are the softest tyres we've got available. These are the middle tyres. These are the hardest tyres. And it varies track to track as to which tyre you want to be on. Although, like I said, I did like Hypersofts and Supersofts and stuff. Pink tyres, yeah. All the different colours we had. I was a bit sad to see that system go, but as I said, it does make sense. The final corner. We C6 at every track. That might be an interesting video here, actually. Run the... yeah, it will be pretty easy to mod. So run the C. Well, technically, the C6 doesn't exist anymore. It's C5 now is the softest, but in the game C6 does exist, and there's a glitch whereby if you run a sprint weekend on any of the tracks that was C6 last year, it will give you the C6 this year. But they're almost exactly identical to the mediums. Because obviously they haven't, it's accidental, right? So they haven't actually optimized it to be a C6. So technically the C6 does exist in the game, but it's a big technicality. Yeah, I think Verstappen's got to come back. So I've got a bigger gap, haven't I, to the AI? It's not a perfect measurement, obviously, but I definitely have got a bit of a bigger gap to the AI. We'll see. Well, that's slow. We'll see if that does anything or not. Because what was it? I want to say it was about 45 seconds at the line before. We're going to be potentially as much as 50 seconds this time. We'll see. We've got one more lap to do, and then we'll finally get our answer. I think without the strategy system, we'd all. I mean, I say assume we'd be pretty confident in saying that the medium hard is better. So quite frankly, if the soft medium is anywhere near this strategy, just within a couple of seconds, then I think the strategy system's cooking. The problem is obviously if it is slower,
okay, this is your final lap.
We then got to go, well, how do we filter out that potential result? And that's a coding challenge for me, but got about 2 minutes to find out. And if this strategy is slower, and look, I've not been driving perfectly. I've not been driving perfectly consistently. I'm a human as well. I've been distracted. Obviously, we've been chatting away and stuff. Fine. Like it's not a perfect test. And in particular, I did this test second. So in theory, I should be more practiced for this test. But to be honest, I should have done a couple laps to warm up. That was a mistake.
Okay, Lando's out of the race.
Happened last time too. On a different lap, different race. What was I saying? Can't remember.
Yellow flag.
Yeah, if it is quicker, then the strategy system is absolutely cooking.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
But I feel like these hards feel better, quite a lot better than the mediums did at the end of their stint. So unless these hards were quite significantly slow, oh my god, what's going on?
Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
That'll be a safety car. I'm glad I switched those off. So we'll see. Oh yeah, potentially even more than 1 or 2 seconds allowance for the human variants. Yeah, we're talking about 22 laps. It's quite a lot. It's quite easy for me to vary my push level by potentially even 0.2 a lap. So potentially even up to 5 seconds variance, but that's just the nature of it. Let's see.
Okay, the incident's been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Purple set that. 47.6. Must have got best lap on the last lap.
Awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
What was it before then? Hold on a minute. $40.16.906, right? That's soft medium strategy. 40 minutes, 16 seconds, and 0.9. 40 minutes and 16 seconds. This time with medium hard.
Thank you.
40.16 to beat.
And with that, we wrap up another
Wow.
weekend of motorsport action.
Look at that. 14 seconds faster medium hard. So that's definitely outside of margin of error, I'd say.
Formula One.
That's quite a big difference. I think most of that was in the final laps, to be honest. Let's compare. Let me go and download the live timing first. So interesting. So as I said, there's a few drawbacks with the strategy generator. First of which is that it doesn't factor in tyre temperatures. A. And B is that it only looks at grip. So obviously those mediums and those softs at the end of those stints weren't as drivable. Although theoretically they probably had good grip, I couldn't extract the grip because they weren't as drivable. So I'm wondering if we put in, say we, you're not involved, chat. I wonder if I develop in a system where it gives a weighting to if the rear tyre is the worst tyre. Because I think if the front tyre is the worst tyre, you can still drive it to its limit. If the rear tyre is the worst tyre, you can't drive it to its limit because you just have to back off a little bit. But anyway, let's have a little look. So the last lap for me on that set was a 147.636. In fact, I'll get both of these up. Hold on a second. This is my live timing system. Let me hold on a sec. Let me just load it real quick. Let me load the old one. Well, that is definitely a bigger margin than I hope to see. Have a look. There we go. So yeah, there we go. So this is the two compared. So this is the one we just did. No, it's not. This is the one we just did. So we had a 52-second lead, 37-second lead. So that actually adds up to about the same what we're seeing. Last lap was a 48.925, 47.6. So there you go. That's a big difference. 1.3 seconds quicker on the last lap of the race. Massive. And that's what I mean. I think most of it was the end of the race in particular, but also the end of the stints. The one we just did on lap 8, we did a 149.2. Another one earlier on softs on lap 8, we did a 50.0. So again, 8 tenths. So it's once again the end of the stint. Look at the first start of the stint. So 48.1, 48.2 versus 48.3, 48.9. So even the starts of the stints, that's interesting. Then lap 11 was a 48.1 on mediums. On hards, 48.1. Oh, that's lap 12. Hold on. Okay, lap 12, 48.1. I mean, ERS does change a little bit. I wasn't perfectly consistent with ERS. That's how it is. So mid 47s. Lap 13, 14, mid 47s. Yeah, 48. So that's very interesting. So at no point really was it quicker. I was expecting to see a little bit quicker at the start of the stints, but significantly slower at the end of the stints. That's what yielded that result. That's very interesting. I will say, as I said before, this soft medium strategy I did do first, which didn't help. And my push level wasn't perfect. But even if we're given a 5-second leeway, which I think is probably enough for all that, we still got a bigger difference in that. So yeah, lap 2, 48.3 versus 48.1. 48.2, 48.6, 48.9, 50.0. But then down to a 49.0 on lap 5. But they're still quicker here, 48.8. I didn't go to the 49s until lap 8. Whereas here, I was over a 49, well, every lap. Okay. Interesting. Still work to do then. That's basically the conclusion there. Because I thought at the start of the stint, as I said, we'd be quicker. We weren't. Not at all. So the average grip is not effective way of generating a strategy, it seems. We don't have tyre temps logged in this, no. No, we don't. But yeah, we did check the soft temperatures, and they were a little bit hot. They were peaking at 95 degrees. Was it 90? Optimal was 85. 97 degrees they peaked at. So they were a little bit warm, not crazy. And that is something that doesn't factor in. So that is part of it, but not. I don't think that's a big factor, not a Spa. At tracks where the tyres overheat, that will be a big factor. My guess is the difference between grip and lap time. I would think 100% and 90% grip are closer in lap time than 90% and 80%. Yeah, good point. I think you're probably right. I think you're almost certainly right. If 100 grip is a 145.0 and 90% grip is a 146.0, let's just say, you drop a second a lap for those 10% of grip. I think you drop more than a second lap, dropping another 10% of grip, going from 90 to 80%. You might even drop 2 seconds a lap. So you're probably right, but again, that doesn't really explain it perfectly, because even when the tyres were new, they weren't as good. But then to me, like a new set of mediums, so my second lap on mediums, right? 48.1, my third lap 47.9, right? 48.1, 47.9. Hards, my second, third lap on hards, was quicker. That's wrong. That's wrong. Regardless of strategy and prediction and systems and grip levels, the medium is faster than the hard when it's new. We know that for a fact. Like, we all know that. There's no track, unless the mediums overheat very quickly on certain, maybe like Qatar or something. So maybe that is practice coming into it. Maybe it had a bigger variance than I expected. Yeah, fact, that's exactly what I said, is that when the rear tyres lose grip before the front, we need to maybe factor that in. Even if you don't calculate tyre temp, the mediums are already quicker lap 3. What, quicker than soft? I mean, the softs were never quicker. Both stints, the softer compound was never quicker. That doesn't add up, does it, chat? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I think, and look, this is actually a really good example of why, in building this system, I don't want any driver in loop data in there, because it's open to variance. And okay, if you get an excellent driver that's incredibly consistent, it will help. But they're still not perfect, and battery is such a big thing in this game. It's so easy, and sometimes there's little foibles with the battery. You burn. Sometimes it stops burning really quickly. Other times it takes longer to stop burning. I think that's linked to speed. I mean, did we have weather? We do have weather. 1 degree difference. That's nothing. That's not doing anything in this game. I don't believe. We ended on 0.04 difference on fuel. I think it's just a driver in loop thing. Mainly. Factor in lap time. Yeah, we could. We're getting into guesstimation then. And again, I want to avoid that wherever possible. I put on lap 9 for soft medium and lap 10 for medium hard. %1 C3 compared to 25% C4 is already basically the same. So lap 3 you're talking about 25% versus 18%. But then even lap 2 is slower. Lap 2 I was 2/10 slower on softs compared to mediums. Which, okay, fine, the softs wear pretty quickly. But you would absolutely expect the mediums to be fast. I mean, look, with VSC we publish a graph of the crossover points, but again, it's based on human data, but still, it might tell us something. So if I go Spa, get the wear graph for a 50% distance race. So the VSC data at the moment thinks that it's 4 laps is the crossover point. And yeah, you're right, Yona, actually. We with this data, we think there's after about 2 laps, the soft is already worse than the medium. So fine, but it's 4 laps for the medium to become worse than the hard. So if you start on mediums versus someone who starts on hards, it will take 4 laps for the hard tyre to become better. And we're just not seeing that in the data at all. Ever. Like, ever. I think it's a driver and loop thing. It has to be. Now, obviously, we did Pox 1 lap later, which is skewing things slightly on fuel. But if we say the first lap on hards was a 48.1, first flying lap on hards. The first flying lap on mediums was also a 48.1. Identical. But then we did have slightly less fuel on the hard run. Lap 2, so lap 12 here, which was my that was my third flying lap, or third lap on mediums. 47.9. That's lap 12. On lap 12 here was a 48.1. That's pretty close. But then the lap after that was significant. 48.2 versus a 47.5. 7/10. Some of that will be ERS. I just feel like this really was inconclusive. Tim more comfortable in the second race than the first, but win the flow. A bit, but I wouldn't say I was uncomfortable in the first. I think the main thing this has told me is 2 things. First of all, that when it's a rear limited circuit, don't expect all grip levels to be equal. So maybe add in a little bit of a multiplier when it's a rear limited circuit, because the driver can't push as hard when it's rear limited. They can push as hard when it's front limited. A. And B, and we've already got our data of VSE, so that's easy. And B, potentially, like you said, there's a bigger lap time difference between 100% to 90% as there is 90% to 80%. That would make a lot of sense. every lap in none mode to limit variables. Yeah, it's a good point. You are right. The problem with that is, on last year's game, absolutely yes, that is the way to do it. Or just leave it medium the whole time, don't touch it. With this year's game, the problem is you end up carrying different corner speeds. Take Puon, it's a really good example on Spa. If I only run medium, I probably need a slight lift going into Puon mostly, unless I've got brand new tyres. If I run a bit of boost into there, I need a big lift. If I run none, I don't need to even think about lifting. Easy flat, easy flat. So you're then carrying different corner speed through there, which is going to affect your tyre wear. So you do need to use the ERS really. But you are right, in the ideal world, you take that variable out. It's just very hard to do in 2026. Potentially run medium or hot lap the whole time is the way to go. But then again, you're not lifting and coasting so much. And the tyres do wear in the straight on this game. Not massive amount, but they do. So lifting and coasting, if you reduce that, you change the tyre wear. I think you need to use ERS as you would normally. Yeah, data is inconclusive. A90 by definition is a big difference. Yeah, true. Good point, actually. Yeah, no, good maths. So I wonder if I just factor in a little... Oh my god, it's 20 to 8. Jesus. I wonder if I factor in a little offset of that. Of, say, for every... You know, and I won't be as stepped as this, but for every 1% of grip lost... multiply that by 1.1 or 1.01, whatever it is. Just multiply it a little bit as the grip gets lost. That should be relatively easy to factor in, and that should change the numbers. And it probably would mean it wouldn't have suggested a soft medium there.
Jacob Walker 1233 just subscribed on Twitch.
Thank you, Jacob, for the Prime sub. Appreciate you. Welcome in. Hope you're good. Thank you for the support. So that would help eliminate that soft medium suggestion, and would tend towards the better tyres. And as I said, if I also then factor in the rear limitation, which at Spa wasn't a big deal, because for me at least, the tyres were pretty even all round. But at certain tracks like Baku is a really good example, right? Baku, tyres are massively rear limited, and it really affects your lap time because the car is horribly unstable. So you need to factor that in. I think if I factor both of those in, I think we're pretty close then. I'd still like it to be able to compare one stop versus two stop, but it's almost impossible without having human data involved, and then, as you've just seen, inconsistencies. But this was fundamentally inconclusive. I don't think we can really even say this does definitely means that the soft medium was worse. I do think the soft medium was worse. I don't think it should have been 16 seconds worse. I think that's a bit too much. Ooh. Over the flashbang, which is there. 40. Did I even screenshot this? I think I did. I don't even know if you can pan between screenshots on Steam, actually. I don't think you can. I think it pops up and you can't. That's ridiculous. So yeah, there you go. 47.5. Oh, you can. 40.02, 40.16. 14 seconds. As much as I do think the soft medium is worse, that's wrong. And look, really good example. I had a better faster lap. 47.5 best lap, which would have been on mediums. No, sorry, that would have been on hards. Versus the 47.9 on mediums. That's not right. That's not right. Our best lap should always be better with softer tyres, right? I did for my custom data, I actually used my Create Series data, so it was actually 100% distance race that I multiplied up for the 50% distance race. And it seemed to be accurate. I suggested a 7.8% wear per lap on softs in the first stint and the first race, and I achieved 7.6, I think it was. Look at it. Hold on. This one, these tyres. We did 9 laps, and we had 77. That would have been at the end of the lap. Yeah, that's correct. 77% across 9 laps. 8.5. It was 9 laps, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 9 laps. Okay, 8.5 average. And I put in 7.8, so it's pretty close. But yeah, there was a slight inaccuracy there for sure. Because as I said, but if I show you this again, it was actually without my own custom data, as you can see here, it was suggesting medium hard was the best, which turned out to be the case, and then soft hard was second best, by a very small margin. But when I put my own custom data in, it was saying soft medium was the best, and then medium hard was second best by a small margin. But clearly, we could see we ran those softs much harder. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd eliminate that almost immediately just by factoring in lower grip is worse, like exponentially worse, essentially. But yeah, anyway, interesting test. Fairly inconclusive, but interesting test nonetheless. But yeah, all right. The average grip is 2% higher after you valid your own data. Yes, it is, yeah, because I have better tire wear than the default VSC data. Quite a bit better, yeah. But the Creator Series race, I was cruising on the tires, but I was also cruising today. You know, you saw I wasn't pushing hard. So as long as I'm driving about what I put in the data, that's all that really matters, isn't it? So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, interesting stuff. Little bit of work to do, but I think medium hard strategy is the correct strategy. So it's interesting that it was being suggested anyway. And that is the strategy the game suggested. There is certain tracks the game will suggest a 2-stop, won't allow you to do a 1-stop. In fact, this was one of them. It didn't think a soft medium was possible in the game. It thought we were 5 laps off being able to do it, and I achieved it. So it's still improvement on the game purely because you can customize it, but I clearly need to tweak the numbers a little bit to get it a bit more accurate, because that was definitely a little bit too far off. But I'm really interested to see when I tweak the numbers a little bit what it comes out with. But yeah, that's the point of doing the test. That's the whole purpose of doing it. We didn't do it just to go, look how good it is. We did it to actually test. That was the whole point. That's why I just did 2 50% distance races in a row, all on my own. Well, apart from you guys, but no battling on track. So yeah, interesting stuff. Right, that's it for me. Yeah, challenge you tomorrow, guys. I'm going to aim for 3 PM UK time, as I always do. Might be a little bit late, you know me, but aim for 3 PM UK time tomorrow. I look forward to that, guys. We're going to do a kind of virtual raid again. VSE is live. We've got the wonderful TK and Safso streaming right now on the VSE YouTube channel, so do go and watch the rest of the race, guys. Unfortunately, I've massively overrun again because of who I am as a person, so we are on lap 9 of 29 around Bahrain, so we've got a little bit of a racing miss then, but we've got still 2/3 of the race to go, guys. So it's only streaming on YouTube, so I'm just going to put the link in chat. There you go. There's the link in chat. Hopefully it worked. I'll put it in YouTube chat as well. I will also do an actual raid on YouTube. Hold on a second. How do I do it? I always forget. Settings, edit, customization, I think it is for some reason. Add a redirect, search for videos, VSE ranked, save, bosh. There you go. Remember how to do it. Right, there you go. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Did you go and enjoy the VSE ranked stream? Go and give TK and Safso some love, who are doing the commentary for that. And let's see how that race goes. About 2/3 of the way through now at Bahrain. We've got Epic leading right now, who actually raced the other day. Bobby Lyons as well. Leon Xbox. We recognise some of those names from my races. That's it for me, guys. Tomorrow, 3 PM UK time for Challenge Tuesday. And then other than that, I will probably be next live on Friday for VSE ranked. Maybe not 100% on that. We'll see. Anyway, guys, enjoy VSE ranked. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.